Hey everyone, this is Eddie G, otherwise known as DM Fumble, and this is another edition of Fumbling Around, where I talk about all things related to Dungeons and Dragons. Today I want to talk about an interesting project that's going on relating to two of my favorite hobbies, Dungeons and Dragons and Lego. Seems that the Lego Corporation recently partnered up with WotC to bring to market the first ever Dungeons and Dragons themed Lego set. Now, in the past, Lego has done themes related to fantasy in terms of its castle, Vikings, elves, and a few other lines that had fantastic creatures and knights and dragons and all kinds of things like that, but never one that was specifically related to and branded as Dungeons and Dragons. And the most exciting part of this project is that the submission will not just come from WotC or from Lego. It's actually going to come from you and me. What they're doing is they're opening up the challenge to the entire D&D and Lego community for submissions. And based on the submission, which one will actually be turned into a set. So the way this works is that Lego has already set up a site. They've had it for a couple of years called Lego Ideas, and they use that for just general crowdsourced ideas that they've turned into about a dozen different sets currently. Now they've used that same setup for the specific challenge of a D&D themed idea. There's a blog post, I'll link to that in the show notes, that gives you some ideas about what are the limits and focus that they're looking for. And then all you do basically is build that set, upload the pictures, and then you have until the middle of November, I believe November 14th is going to be the cutoff date for that submission process. Then it'll go into the crowd voting phase, where people like you and me will be able to look them over. In fact, you can look over the submissions already and see what's available. But after all the submissions are accepted, you'll be able to vote on which ones you like and so forth. And then I guess at that point they'll do a combination of most voted, as well as, I'm sure WotC and Lego will lean into what the final decision is going to be, and from that they're going to choose one set. And typically what they'll do is they'll take that set, they might make some minor modifications to it just for Lego-ness, for lack of a better word. And then that again will become out the final set that they'll release. I'm sure their goal is to time this so that it releases sometime next year. In terms of the 50th anniversary, it does not have to be themed on the movie, so that is, leaves it wide open to what you can choose. I've seen some submissions that are a nice brick-built bust of a mind flayer. There's a whole bunch of beholder sculptures up there, as well as some dioramas featuring minifigs and so forth. Some I think actually have the minifig versions of the characters from the old D&D cartoon. But your focus is pretty wide open on what you can submit, as long as it has a noticeable and obvious Dungeons and Dragons theme. So again, check out the blog post as well as the Lego Ideas site. Again, I'll include that in the show notes so you can see what is available. I know I'll be there on day one when it's released, money in hand, willing to buy at least one copy, maybe two, depending on the price, of whatever they finally do partner up and release. I am very much looking forward to this. As a longtime Lego fan, I very much want to see what the two brands can do together and what the community can come up with as a whole. I look forward to seeing the submissions that come out there, and hopefully you do too. So with that, this is another edition of Fumbling Around. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.